Hi, good evening. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education of the Clark Public Schools. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with PL 1975, Chapter 231, and that a special notice was made in conformance with Section 13 of the Act.
Mr. Smorl, Ms. Guerrero, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Can we stand for the pledge to the flag?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Akalonis,
Present.
Mr. Bensavinga, Mr. Breedy,
Here.
Ms. Harrison,
Here.
Ms. Guerrero,
Here.
Ms. Hickman,
Here.
Mr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. May,
Present.
Mrs. Smorl,
Here.
and Mr. Dunkersloot. Having 8 board members who have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. At this time, the Board of Education will recognize the Teacher of the Year through our Showcase of Success. Mr. Grande, would you like to lead us in the presentations?
Good evening. We're excited because tonight we'll be recognizing our Governor's Educators of the Year across our different schools. Early each fall, it seems like just when we get back from summer break, the New Jersey Department of Education puts out an appeal to every school district in the state. And what they're asking for are nominations to be sought for up to 2 award winners for each public school in New Jersey. A Teacher of the Year, which is just what you would think, a traditional classroom teacher working with his or her students, and then an Educational Services Professional of the Year, which is someone who has an important role in the school, but not in a traditional classroom teaching sense. Either a school counselor, a paraprofessional aide, a child study team member, someone important to the heartbeat of the school. Each principal then convenes a committee of various stakeholders, from parents, community members, staff members, after getting these nominations from those same type of people across the spectrum. When the committee evaluates the nominations, a rigorous process is used in the sense that a rubric is given to us through the state, and we have to strictly follow what's written in the written nominations, as opposed to letting external information that might not be as objective come into play. And that process is what brings us here this evening, and we're going to be recognizing our award winners from our 5 schools. We'll begin with Arthur L. Johnson High School, and Mrs. Oliveira and Mrs. Poske. And Mrs. Clarence, would you like to come down?
Good evening. My name is Tara Oliveira, and it is my honor this evening to introduce to you ALJ's Governor's Educator of the Year for 2024-2025, Mrs. Jacqueline Hedrick. Mrs. Hedrick has been a member of the Mathematics Department in the Clark Public Schools since 1998. Beginning her career at Carl H. Kampf Middle School, Mrs. Hedrick soon made her way to Crusader Nation, where she has become a staple of the ALJ community. As one of the first teachers that our freshmen and sophomore students encounter, Mrs. Hedrick teaches algebra and geometry at all academic levels, ensuring that she applies different methods in her classroom to accommodate all students' needs. With maternal warmth and high expectations, she takes time to monitor growth, adjust her instruction, and provide clear guidance to everyone. She's creative, she is adaptable, and she is always prepared to help. In fact, she can be found in room 7 almost every single day after school as she makes herself available. Mrs. Hedrick communicates with parents, students, and administration effectively, again, all in support of student learning. In fact, after NJSLA testing last year, Mrs. Hedrick advocated for change in our testing schedule. Instead of administering the NJSLA in early May, as we always have, she requested that we conduct testing towards the end of the month instead, so that students could get through more content prior to testing. This would allow more practice time for students, increasing confidence and potentially test scores. I'm proud to say that this year we've taken this suggestion and our testing calendar reflects her position. It was well thought out and it was in the best interest of students, what we strive for at ALJ. The impact of a teacher goes far beyond the curriculum, however, and Mrs. Hedrick is no exception to this. A culture creator, just walking into her classroom makes you want to learn. Her creative bulletin boards, her groovy exit tickets, and her mathematical wisdom covers the walls. However, it goes beyond her classroom doors. She is in fact a wizard with the Cricut crafting machine, and she has created content for our school-wide bulletin boards. New Jersey and You, Raise Your Voices, our front vestibule quotes, and the photography case are all inclusive of the Hedrick touch. Over her tenure in the district, Ms. Hedrick's excellence in teaching continues to leave an indelible mark on the school and on all of us that have the privilege of learning from and working with her every day. As Mr. Amendola has pointed out recently, though the New York Rangers are currently sitting in 9th place in the Eastern Conference standing, Jackie Hedrick finished first for Governor's Educator of the Year for this year. I present to you our New York Rangers fan, Ms. Jacqueline Hedrick, ALJ's Educator of the Year. I had to do it for you. You're welcome. Congratulations. They are pretty, aren't they? We're gonna take pictures of you. Now you get to smile. Here, you wanna hold this? You get to be the first one, so everyone has to end in what you do.
It is my pleasure to introduce Arthur L. Johnson's Educational Support Professional of the Year, Mrs. Megan Ryan. Megan started her career as an intern in our school counseling office in 2018, becoming an official member of the staff in 2020. She serves as our Key Club advisor, our building testing coordinator for all state and college board assessments, and can be found on stage presenting for many of our ALJ events for students and families. In her line of work, she is often confronted with potentially problematic concerns or situations. She approaches these issues with thoughtfulness and integrity and with respect for the concerned individuals. She holds her students accountable while communicating with compassion. She helps them make the best choices in their personal and academic lives. In turn, she is highly respected by the ALJ community. Mrs. Ryan develops a strong bond with not only the students in her caseload, but with the entire ALJ population. When thinking of what makes Megan so exceptional, I can think of two things that stand out. When she started in 2020, she took the initiative to craft handwritten notes to every graduating senior, highlighting their accomplishments and wishing them well in their endeavors after ALJ. Using that personal touch and going the extra mile for our students goes a long way in maintaining close school-home relationships. The second would be the organization of one of our most popular events that might go unnoticed, our Key Club-hosted Senior Citizen Prom. Each year, she heads the event that brings together our senior community with our students, and it's a great way our school gives back to the community of Clark. The event has a DJ, a full dinner, and is sold out every year. Mrs. Ryan also serves as the building's testing coordinator, where she creates scheduling assignments, adheres to state regulations, and manages many moving parts. Along with her counterpart, she helps to manage over 1,200 assessments in the building, and they go off without a hitch. If you've ever gotten an email from Miss Ryan, you know exactly why. We couldn't think of a better recipient for this award, so please help me congratulate Megan Ryan as the recipient of this year's Educational Support Professional of the Year.
Many congratulations, and thank you, Mrs. Oliveira and Mrs. Poskey. Now for Carl H. Kumpf Middle School, Mr. Delmonico and Ms. Clark.
Thank you, Mr. Grande. Congratulations to all the honorees tonight. I had a pleasure working with many of you, and it's all well-deserved, so congratulations. This year, Kumpf Middle School's Governor's Educator of the Year is Ms. Laura Holcomb. Ms. Holcomb is a special education teacher at Kumpf Middle School. This is her 6th year at Kumpf after being in the elementary school for 15 years. Needless to say, it cost me a lot of money in trade compensation to get her over there, but we did. Laura is a graduate of LaSalle University with a dual major in elementary and special education. She has a master's degree from Mary Grove College. This is actually her 2nd time being acknowledged as Governor's Educator of the Year, having previously been recognized when she was at the elementary school. This demonstrates how well respected she is as an educator in our district. When Ms. Holcomb began at Kumpf Middle School, needless to say, she was a little nervous dealing with the middle school kids, as are most people that deal with middle school kids. But it took her no time to become comfortable and respected at Kumpf as an outstanding educator, a leader, and an important part of the school community. She serves as a member of the INRS team, the crisis response team, the Kumpf Wellness Committee, and during the last year, Laura is always there to support our students at the play, at orientation, and any other activity at night, usually dragging her home kids around, who are here today with her. They're always there with her, and they seem to like Kumpf more than her school, I think. I don't know. They're there all the time, so we'll see. But we enjoy having them there, too. But Ms. Holcomb's there for everything in our event and supports the kids. She's also a homework club advisor and is one of our recess monitors. Why anybody would want to spend 40 minutes a day extra dealing with middle school kids in recess time, I don't know, but she does it, and she actually enjoys it every day. She really likes bonding with the kids. This year, she spearheaded our Flex Advisement Time revamp that we're doing at Kumpf School with Mrs. Smith, and its purpose was to launch meaningful activities for the students during this important time. This year, the lessons have been meaningful and helpful to our students, and everybody seems to enjoy it, and it's all because of her hard work, and she took this initiative on herself. Ms. Holcomb is an outstanding educator who gives much of her time to the Kumpf students and to Kumpf School. There isn't a day that goes by where a student is not looking for her in the morning or after school for help or just for guidance. Each day is a pleasure to see Ms. Holcomb, as she is always happy and sees the bright side of things. This positive attitude is infectious and truly creates a positive environment for the students and for the staff each day. She is so deserving candidate for this recognition, and I congratulate her again, and to being Kumpf's representative for Governor's Educator of the Year. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Laura, and thank you, Rick and Mandy. Now for Frankie Henley Elementary School, Mrs. Bergen and Ms. Applebaum.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, I have the pleasure and the honor to present the Teacher of the Year Award for our Henley School community, and that is Ms. Sherry Millivoy. Sherry Millivoy is a teacher who makes a lasting impact, and it is with great pride that we recognize her as our Teacher of the Year. Over the years as a kindergarten teacher, Sherry has earned the admiration and respect of not only her students, but also their parents. Through her exceptional teaching, she has made an indelible impression on the children she serves, and her impact extends far beyond the classroom walls. Sherry's role in shaping the academic, social, and emotional development of her young learners cannot be overstated. With a master's degree as a reading specialist, she brings a wealth of knowledge about how children learn to every lesson she teaches. Her deep understanding of child development and learning strategies allows her to create an environment where students thrive. Sherry doesn't just teach, she tailors her lessons to meet the diverse needs of each child. By recognizing individual learning styles and their interests, she crafts engaging, relatable lessons that resonate with her students. Whether it's through differentiated instruction or creative activities, she ensures every student has the opportunity to succeed. Parents frequently express their gratitude for Sherry's dedication and the personal connection she fosters with each family. Her communication with parents is consistent, clear, and constructive. She keeps them well informed about their children's progress and listens attentively to their concerns. Sherry's ability to build positive relationships with both students and parents is a testament to her genuine care for her community. Her warmth and kindness make each person feel valued, creating a safe and nurturing atmosphere where children feel supported and confident to do their best. Sherry's commitment to her students extends beyond the classroom. She regularly finds time in her busy schedule to visit with her students outside of school hours, further reinforcing her dedication to their growth. These gestures leave a lasting impact on both the children and their parents, who deeply appreciate her unwavering support. In addition to her exceptional work with students, Sherry is a respected colleague and collaborator. Her passion for teaching is contagious, inspiring those around her to grow and challenge themselves. Sherry approaches professional development with an open mind and a commitment to continuous improvement. She embraces new ideas and is always eager to share her insights with peers. As a team player, she helps foster an environment of mutual respect and growth among the staff. Sherry is not only a skilled and dedicated educator, but she's also a person whose passion and patience leave a lasting imprint on those who have the privilege of working with her. Her ability to connect with her students, her commitment to their success, and her collaborative spirit make her an outstanding role model for both students and colleagues alike. For her tireless dedication, her unwavering passion for teaching, and the profound impact she has made on her students and their families, Sherry is truly deserving of the title of Teacher of the Year. She exemplifies what it means to be an exceptional educator, and we are incredibly fortunate to have her as part of our school community. Sherry?
Good evening, everyone. It might sound cliche, but at Henley School, we firmly believe in the saying, "It takes a village." The success of our students is built on the dedication, collaboration, and support of an entire team of educators and staff. A key member of that team is Pam Torres, whose exceptional work as an educational support specialist has made her a beloved and indispensable part of our school community. Pam's journey at Henley began in the fall of 2018 when she joined us as a lunch aide. Her commitment to supporting students during lunch and recess did not go unnoticed, and it wasn't long before we recognized her potential for a more significant role. Pam transitioned into a paraprofessional position, and since then, she has consistently demonstrated the qualities of an outstanding educator and advocate for students. Known throughout the school for her patience, compassion, and unwavering dedication, Pam works seamlessly and tirelessly with all students. Whether supporting in the classroom or working one-on-one with individual students, she is a calming and reassuring presence who builds strong, positive relationships with each child. Her work is grounded in her belief that every student deserves structure, routine, and an environment where they feel supported and respected. Pam's understanding of these needs allows her to create an atmosphere that fosters learning and growth. Pam's expertise goes beyond her day-to-day interactions with students. She is Crisis Prevention Institute CPI trained, which equips her with the skills to de-escalate challenging situations and ensure the safety and well-being of all students. Her ability to work collaboratively with classroom teachers, special education staff, and paraprofessional colleagues reflects her dedication to the entire school community. Pam is always eager to learn and improve, regularly seeking out new behavioral strategies by consulting with the district behaviorist, occupational therapist, and child study team members, particularly when supporting our more challenging students. In addition to her skill set, Pam's flexibility and readiness to just jump in whenever are qualities that make her stand out. Whether it's stepping in to assist in a classroom, supporting a student in crisis, or helping a colleague in need, Pam's willingness to go above and beyond speaks volumes about her commitment to our students and school community. Pam Torres embodies the spirit of teamwork and dedication that defines the heart of Henley School. Her work may not always be in the spotlight, but it is essential to the success and well-being of our students. For her tireless efforts, her compassion, and her unwavering support of both students and staff, Pam is more than deserving of the title of Educational Services Professional of the Year. Congratulations. So well deserved, Pam.
Congratulations, Sherry and Pam, and thank you, Mrs. Bergen and Ms. Applebaum. Now for the Valley Road School, Mr. Beltramba and Ms. Applebaum.
Just wanted you to know that we both wanted to read Sarah, so we fought over that, and we decided to split it. And we also want to congratulate all the winners tonight. It's great to hear about all the great teachers and staff that we have. I'll just start off by saying what I say every morning to Sarah. Hey, Sarah Badillo, that's you over there. We say that every morning to her, and she always gives me that same look. But we want to say that Valley Road School recipient of the Educational Services Professional Award is Mrs. Sarah Badillo. Sarah is so deserving of this award, as she not only offers unwavering support to her students, but she also is devoted to helping students' parents, her colleagues, and the administration. Willingly, she stops on a dime what she is doing to help a child who needs her assistance, or for a teacher just needs someone to talk to and listen to them, or simply to help out at lunch, recess, or in a class. She has been observed, quite literally, jogging down the halls to help someone in need. Students see her as a safe space and someone who is always in their corner, and staff members know she is always rooting for them. Sarah also is constantly coming up with fun, creative activities. That's very creative activities, or maybe uniquely creative activities, because I usually say, are you sure you want to do that? She's like, yeah, it'll work out, and it usually does work out and becomes a great activity. So she does a lot of events for students and staff. They might seem odd at times, but they always turn out excellent. Some new themes, Red Ribbon Week this year were used, activities for Wellness Week, she fills that week up. New awards and incentives that honor students showing good character, and she holds assemblies before school starts in the morning for those students. She's in charge also of Helping Hands and Mentor Links. She's the advisor for Student Council and Safety Patrol. and a member of the Social Committee. That's another committee that does some really odd things but helps the morale in the school, so thank you for that. She's also co-captain of the crisis response team and can be very serious with that and brings about valuable suggestions that help improve the safety of the school and the students and staff. Mrs. Badillo also organizes the Valley Road School Cultural Diversity Fair, which is an event that recognizes and celebrates the many backgrounds of our students. And when she holds that fair, the gym is packed and people have fun for those 2 hours. It's just a wonderful thing.
Thanks for sharing, Mr. B. Outside of school, Sarah can be found at local parades, student sporting games, and the Reading Incentive Night activities. If a child asks her to attend an event that's important to them, she will make every effort to be there. She also organizes countless fundraising events for the Clark community, and somehow she still finds the time to get to know all 400 students at Valley Road School. Mrs. Badillo also has a great rapport with parents. They feel comfortable calling her with concerns because they value her opinion and suggestions, and as a result, they work collaboratively to help students reach their maximum potential. On a personal note, Sarah is a go-to person for just about everything. HIB questions, testing information, 504s, INRS, you name it, and she's just always so willing to share her knowledge. Mrs. Badillo has presented at countless professional development workshops, parent universities, and helped inspire our second-year teachers by presenting on SEL in the classroom. She is an exceptional role model for the Valley Road students. She is genuine, always takes the time to make sure everyone is okay, and when we need her, she is there without hesitation. Mrs. Badillo is so deserving of this award as an acknowledgement of her support and love for her students and colleagues. We're so lucky to have her. Congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Mallory, and many congratulations. We're going to close this portion with Dr. Heather Austin for Clark Preschool Annex.
Good evening. It is an honor and a privilege to be standing here tonight to recognize and celebrate the exceptional work of Marisol Silva, our beloved paraprofessional in our preschool disabled program. She has been a beacon of support and compassion for our preschool population. She embodies what it means to be a dedicated professional, always giving her best for our students and our team. She's incredibly hardworking and reliable, with a heart full of commitment and a smile that lifts the spirits of those around her. Whether it's working one-on-one with a student, providing personalized support, or offering a helping hand, she always goes above and beyond to make sure things are done to 100%. She knows how to connect with her students in a way that fosters growth, confidence, and a love of their learning. What also defines her is her big heart. She brings a level of tenderness and care to everything she does. She is a wonderful person who has a nurturing and compassionate spirit that creates a safe and supportive space for her students. Her calmness is something we all admire, and that carries through to the students, communicating that they can trust her with her learning and social emotional needs. You're truly a role model in that, Marisol. In addition to her dedication to her students, she is also a leader. She willingly steps up to every challenge. To say she is an asset to our team would be an understatement. She's a clear communicator, always working collaboratively with our team, and does so with humility, grace, and unwavering commitment to her students' well-being. I want to congratulate you, Marisol. You are truly deserving of this recognition, and we are so grateful for everything you do. I know you can see those around you here supporting you tonight who are so excited for you. Welcome, Marisol Silva, our Educational Services Professional of the Year for Clark Preschool.
Thank you, Dr. Heather, and congratulations, Marisol. Tonight's recipients, again, many, many congratulations. Our recipients tonight are a small sampling, though, of the excellence that lies among our staff in the Clark Public Schools. They work tirelessly day to day to make sure our students are provided with the best of educational experiences. And that good hard work of theirs is what makes the Clark Public Schools the special places that they are. Thank you to all of our staff, and again, many congratulations to this evening's very well-deserving winners. Thank you.
Okay, and on behalf of the board, I would like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate all of the recipients of the Governor's Educator of the Year. Being an educator myself, I know teaching is just such a wonderful profession, and being a paraprofessional is also extremely rewarding. Life isn't easy in the classroom, as we all know, and for the winners to be nominated, they have to be something absolutely extraordinary and special. And so all of you are. Again, congratulations, and this is a remarkable time of your life. So thank you. At this time, if there is anybody that would like to leave, you may. Otherwise, you can stay for the rest of the meeting. Okay, yes, please. Honorees, please come to the front for a photo.
What about her? Okay, thank you. I think all of the pictures have been taken. All right, let me see. Let's proceed with the meeting. And at this time,
I would like a motion and a second for the approval of the minutes of March 10th. Mrs. Harrison, Mr. Bone? Bone, Brady, sorry. It's on my mind. Okay.
Scary.
I know. Are there any questions, revisions, or comments to the minutes? Roll call?
Zachalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Now, under personnel, I'd like a second. Pardon? Oh, that's right, I thought we did that before. Okay, I'd like to open the floor to the public for agenda items only. Seeing none. Oh, okay, thank you, Mr.
No
Schulman.
problem. Good evening. My name is Michael Schulman, 382 Carolina Street. I had a couple of questions or comments on agenda item number 23. This is the agenda item related to an $89,000 expenditure for architectural services for the proposed pre-K space at the high school. Several questions. It indicates in the proposed resolution that no one is looking to get any state aid specifically for this. I was also wondering why there was no consideration potentially to apply for the grants that are available for certain school construction. I was also wondering if this number represents only, as it relates here, specifically to the bathroom modifications, and what the, if the board has it at hand, total expenditures are going to be for the town to, in essence, build out the high school, because this obviously is money that's not included in the 5-year pre-K grant. That's really for the tuition. It's not to build the facility. I also am curious to know if we are, in essence, at now in, I guess this is early April, just approving potential expenditures. Is there a realistic understanding that this is going to be built for September? Obviously, with all the work that's going to have to be done. And lastly, or second to last, I should say, this is a 5-year grant for the tuition portion, and I think we all hope that it continues, and it's going to have to potentially be self-funded at that point. But the elementary schools, as been discussed here previously, are already overcrowded. Those children will obviously filter up to the high school. Is the plan, obviously, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, to keep this wing reestablished for a potential pre-K program, only to maybe need that same room 2, 3, 5, or 10 years later, and have to again refurbish it when the schools are now at capacity again? Is this expenditure to refit part of the high school to be the most appropriate solution? Lastly, some folks have been speaking, and this is again anecdotal. There has been, obviously from last meeting and continues now, pushback on the idea of sending 3- and 4-year-olds onto the high school campus for a myriad of reasons. Placements, I understand, have now been sent out for students for next year that qualified for the program. Has the board, and maybe the superintendent may have better answers for this, seen parents, once finding out their child is going to be placed at the high school versus the other locations, withdrawing that preschool application because of the concerns people had for that specific location? Thank you.
Very, okay. Mr. Lewis and then Mr. Grande? And-
Yeah, I think that Mr. Schulman had a handful of questions. It was more than one. There was multi because we went into the pre-K. I think that it would be appropriate if you could address some of the things that Mr. Schulman just talked about.
Absolutely. So the preschool expansion aid funding actually allows us to use those monies for the type of renovations that we're looking to do to Arthur L. Johnson High School, because we're not putting on a new addition to the building. we're making adjustments to the existing physical space. So the PEA allows us, like I said, to use those funds, including this $89,000 that is being approved this evening for the architectural plans, so that our district operating budget isn't hit, that the preschool monies are used for this, and we'll still have funds to be able to do the things you mentioned, like hire the staff, equip these classrooms, and so forth. The plan is for the foreseeable future to maintain this wing at Arthur L. Johnson High School. Right now, our high school population is about 800, and the building housed, we had in 1,700, one of the alumni who are being honored actually mentioned he's like basically a school historian, and he said that at one point ALJ housed 1,700 students. So it has the capacity to hold close to double the amount of students, more than double the amount of students that we have now. And none of our high school programs next year will be cut. They may be relocated in physical space, but no programs will be cut. In fact, we're excited because we're adding programs to the 25-26 program of studies. And we're appreciative of the parents whose children were placed there, because even if they have concerns, they are hearing us out and coming to our information session tomorrow night. They submitted questions ahead of time that gave us time to prepare answers. And some of their questions actually helped us with our planning. And tomorrow night, not only will they receive answers to those questions, but they'll see a vision for the physical space. And I know myself, I believe Mrs. Oliveira, Mrs. Poskey, our ALJ administrative team, our Board of Education, we're excited for this plan. Thank you.
Just one additional comment. I believe we've only had one family withdraw after hearing. And I wasn't aware that we've actually had 1,700 at one point, but I've had kids go from kindergarten through the elementaries bursting at the seams, and when they get to the high school, there's still about 800 of them, so it doesn't really change that much. And we've done demographic studies, too, as a board over the past few years to look at the migration of the population and the potential impact on schools. So if you asked me right now, I couldn't see any which way where we would ever need that space back for the high school.
Thank you, Mr. Brady. Okay. Any other comments from the public? Okay, thank you. At this time, may I have a motion and a second for the personnel items 1 through 9? Mr. Lewis? Ms. Kristen? Mrs. Kristen, go ahead. Ms. Hickman? Okay, thank you. Roll call?
Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. Yes on the rest.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smorl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Under curriculum and instruction, may I have a motion and a second for item number 10? Mrs. Harrison? Mr. Breedy? Roll call?
Excuse me, Mr. Breedy was second?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero? Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smorl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, under policy, may I have a motion and a second for item number 11? Mr. May and Ms. Guerrera? Any questions, comments? Seeing none, roll call?
Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Yes.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smorl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Under Board of Governance, may I have a motion and a second for items 12 through 18? Mr. May? Mr. Breedy? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call?
Akalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. Yes on 12 and 15.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay. Under Finance, may I have a motion and second for items 19 through 28? Mr. Smorl? Mr. Breedy? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Makalonis?
Yes.
Mr. Breedy?
Yes.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes.
Ms. Guerrero?
Abstain on 21, 22, 25. Yes on the rest.
Ms. Hickman?
Yes.
Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. May?
Yes.
And Mr. Smurl?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, now, Mr. Grande, may we have the report of the superintendent?
Good evening, and thank you, Ms. Aklanis. Once again, many congratulations to this evening's Governor Educators of the Year recipients. On this evening's agenda, we're approving the retirement of Patricia Domowitz, our ALJ LDTC for 20 years, and Mrs. Gail Griffin, most recently our Frank A. Henley Secretary, 19 years of service. We're also approving the Extended School Year Program, more commonly known as ESY, for our special needs students during the month of July, to be housed at Carl H. Kumpf Middle School and the Clark Municipal Building. Many thanks to Gift Card Bank in partnership with Acme Markets Foundation for the donation of grocery store gift cards for our schools to use for our students and staff. And looking forward to this Wednesday evening, our district-wide band bonanza, again Wednesday the 9th at 7 p.m. in the ALJ Lower Gymnasium. Under Mr. Morrison's leadership, there'll be a little bit of a different flavor to the evening. Many thanks to him, his music teachers, and especially our student musicians. All Clark schools will go on spring break. Our last day of school will be this Friday, and we'll be off all the next week, the following Monday, and returning that Tuesday. Thank you and have a great evening.
Thank you, Mr. Grande. Okay. Mr. Smorl?
Yeah, I'd just like to add, our fall athletic season's just recently concluded. As we get these, we'll announce them. Just want to make mention of a few postseason accolades. We had two wrestlers this year, Zach Belverio and Matty Ortega, that both went to the state tournament. And Zach placed fourth in the state tournament. He was a fourth-place finalist. It's the first time since 1999 that we've had a state finalist, so congratulations to both of them. Our boys basketball team won the Valley Division this year with a perfect 12-0 record, and Dean Yellen Jr. was just named by NJ.com as the Valley Division Player of the Year, so congratulations to him. So just wanted to point that out.
Thank you, Mr. Smorl. Are there any report of the committees? Okay, just make a quick comment. This past week, we had the high school play, and it was The Wedding Singer, and it was just really a fantastic production. I don't know how many of you went to see it, but I know the audience on Saturday night really enjoyed the program, or the play, and it was just, our youngsters did a fabulous job, and again, kudos to everyone that helped them prepare for it. So it was really terrific. Okay, is there any unfinished business? Any new business? And Mr. Mazza, could we have the report of the student board member?
Thank you, and good evening. Before I begin, I'd like to second your point about the school musical. I saw it on Friday night with some friends, and it was fantastic. I have some friends who are in the musical, and I saw the hard work they put into it, and it was great to see them on stage. So if you guys have a chance next year, definitely check out the musical productions. Now, on to my report. I'll begin my report with events at Arthur L. Johnson High School. Throughout March, the National Honor Society ran their annual food drive. All donated items will be given to families in need within our local community. Alongside this, members of the Science National Honor Society had the opportunity to share their love of science with students at Frank A. Henley and Valley Road schools. During these science enrichment days, ALJ students did experiments and demonstrations with the students to showcase the real side of science. Speaking of science, the Rutgers Science Bus will be visiting Carl H. Kumpf during a hands-on science lesson with 7th grade students this week. On April 23rd, the Conf Band will be visiting the elementary schools to showcase their hard work and get these students interested in all things music. Finally, to close out April, Bring Your Child to Work Day will be on April 24th. Parents must fill out a form to participate, which will be released this week. Looking at Frankie Henley School, 3rd through 5th grade students will be participating in the first annual Poetry in Motion event. Students from each grade level will showcase their poems to an audience of peers and parents. At the end of April, coinciding with Earth Day, students can participate in Walk or Ride Your Bike to School Day. On top of this, students will get outdoors with an opportunity to plant flowers on school grounds. All throughout this week at Valley Road School, students will be participating in a Spirit Week gearing up for spring break. This includes wearing pajamas, hiking gear, and all sorts of other fun outfits. Finally, the school will wrap up the month with the 3rd grade field trip on April 25th. Finally, at preschool, tomorrow's Teachers program has officially begun. Working with mentors, students have been learning about behavior strategies, classroom management, and more, all while growing their love for learning and teaching. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now could we have the hearing of the public for non-agenda items?
Hi, my name is Christina Crawford, 1168 Lake Avenue. I'd like to talk about our need for substitute teachers in our schools. I'm glad to see that 5 substitute teachers are approved for hire. How can we continue to increase this number and retain them? 5 new subs are okay, but it's not enough for 4 schools in a developing preschool. We love our teachers, and we want to support them as best as we can. We want them to be able to do their jobs the way they are intended, not running around and covering for other absent teachers. Like it was mentioned at the last Board of Ed meeting, sometimes our kids have up to 4 different teachers covering their classes in one day. We're all here because we want our kids to be well-educated and well-adjusted. We are told that the Clark Preschool curriculum, Tools of the Mind, places a strong focus on self-regulation, but really we know that regulation comes from having sturdy leaders, sturdy teachers that can share in their calm with their kids. Regulation comes from a stable environment, and that's a tall order when our teachers have to give up many of their preps to cover for other classes. Regulation also comes from movement, and it comes from music. And right now, our kindergarten classes only get music from YouTube on a smartboard. And with regards to movement, our students don't have access to the playground on a consistent basis, sometimes because it's broken, but mostly because it's just not big enough to accommodate everyone. Like it was mentioned at the last Board of Ed meeting, our students don't leave the classroom for art, STEAM, computers, health, or music. We don't even have a library. So if regulation is the name of the game, in order for our test scores to improve, our students need to see these changes now. At the last Henley PTA meeting, Mr. Lewis shared that he heard our concerns and that a trailer could be possible to hold the specials there. Thank you for listening. Yes, we absolutely need the space. But realistically, we also need appropriate staff. How can the students benefit from specials in a trailer if the special teacher is constantly whisked away to cover other classes? Again, we're here to support our teachers and our students. We want our teachers to take the time off they are entitled to without worrying who will be covering for their classes. How can we get more qualified subs, and how can we retain them? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Good evening. Dan Zarrow, 469 Westfield Avenue in Clark. 2 of my sons are currently students at Henley School, with 2 more on the way. I want to thank Mr. Grande and Mr. Lewis for attending last month's meeting of the Henley PTA to address a few pressing matters. I appreciate your candor, your passion, your presence. The resounding theme of what Mr. Lewis discussed was communication. But here's the problem. You admitted over and over again that the district has to do a much better job at communicating, and then you left. You didn't take questions, there was no discussion, no open forum as we were promised. Unfortunately, it seems you were more interested in talking at us than with us. You had the open ears and unique perspectives of 42 people in that room, and you left. The communication efforts of the entire board, district, and school administration need to go much further, way beyond newsletters and emails and videos. We need honesty, transparency, accountability, and collaboration. Frankly, an open meeting with parents should have happened many months earlier, the instant the words free preschool crossed your desk. Town hall meetings, listening sessions, open forums, ad hoc committees, discussions that go far deeper than a Google form or 3 minutes at the microphone during a Board of Ed meeting. When it comes to issues that will cause a seismic shift for our schools, like adding free preschool, like shifting students into modular classrooms, like realigning and building onto our schools for exploding enrollment, like figuring out how to attract and afford and retain all-star teachers, if you want community buy-in and support for your big decisions, the community needs to be a part of those conversations during the planning process, not as an afterthought. Obviously, some brainstorming and planning needs to happen behind the scenes. But the fact that you, quote, had no idea that Henley School has music and art on a cart, and that most days students spend 6 hours stuck in a single classroom, and that the parking lot is so small it can't afford a single space for visitors, never mind additional staff for preschool, and that the playground is broken and wholly inadequate, it means you're out of touch with the concerns of parents and students and the problems with our schools, and that means you don't have the best data to make the best decisions for our kids. Now, apparently there is a bond referendum coming up in September. For some reason, hardly any information has been shared about what we might be voting on, and I can't fathom why it's such a secret. If you want Clark parents to show up and vote, more importantly, if you want voters with no children to vote in favor of whatever's proposed, I hope you share your vision. You really need to start talking, and more importantly, I hope you start listening too. Thank you.
Mr. Lewis?
Yeah, I'd like to address a couple of those questions, those statements. It would be remiss if anyone thought that Mr. Grandi, myself, coming to the March meeting, we didn't understand the concerns from what happened here at this meeting. We need to have a module. We don't have enough space. We have a lot of different issues at Henley that we need to correct now, that we have to talk about. I don't think anybody's keeping that a secret. I think what happened last month is really a need for action. And you talk about subs, one of the parents got up and talked about having 3 or 4 different, those statements were made. I did field a few questions and got a little more educated on some of the dire needs of the building. And I really feel that a statement was made at that PTA meeting that a parent said we have a lot of energy, a lot of passion for our PTA, and the fact that we got to get both schools on track of their needs. There's a lot of frustration in that meeting. It wasn't a case to sit back and field questions from everyone. It was a fact of coming, supporting, and doing something. The Personnel Committee is looking at Valley Road and Henley. They're in dire need of a lot of things to be the school that we want those schools. My children went through Henley. I understand fully. And it is troubling because it's needed right now. And all the different referendum stuff and stuff that we're talking about, we're in the second stage of talking about needs. Right now, my opinion, the most important thing for Valley and Henley is space, room. It was really compelling when a parent made a comment about having their child be in class for 4 or 5 hours straight in one room. There's too many students that need to get out and about and be able to get out of their seat and do those things. That was just really, really stunning, and that was educational for me because I only put my own children in that position, and I don't think that's an easy thing for the teacher or the students in the classroom. So I don't want anyone to take this, that we're taking a blind eye. I know I'm not, and I will take action, and we have Henley and Valley both on the radar. Because if our elementaries don't do well, how could the district do well? They're the beginning stages of getting a good experience. The parents in those schools are superly involved. And I will make sure I'm available to do whatever I can for Henley and Valley. And I do agree. A lot of your comments are valid, but believe me, I don't think the Board of Education is not acknowledging what's going on and what we need to do. What we need to do is one word: make some change, just change. And it's got to be good change. Mr. Grande, I think that we talked about this, we brought this into personnel, and I just think that right now, this is a more than serious problem for both schools, and we just got to figure out the spacing issue. I think that's the most important thing right now, to figure out where our sizes, where our issues, how to make it better. And I have no problem reporting to your next meeting of the basically potential things that we're going to do. That this way you feel that you're part of this or we're part of this. And I'm going to say one last thing. It's encouraging. We should have that dialogue. We should not be afraid to be able to listen to anything. It's got to be combative. It's constructive. I commend what you're trying to do. You got your children there, and it's for all parents. There should be one sub for that classroom, period. I get all that. But I will say one thing. We do care. I know I care, and I know I'm going to be there when you invite any board members to come. I certainly feel the same way about all our schools, but right now I think our attention needs to be down below to get that going where it needs to be. So I just want that to be said. And I think we'll talk more, Mr. Grande, with that multiple issues that we have.
And yes, and I think, just to add to that, Mr. Lewis, I think, yes, there has to be more communication, and I think between Mr. Grande and then the different committees that we have, we'll be able to get more information out to the public, to the parents, and solicit your recommendations, your thoughts, so there is a two-way communication and more communication going out to the parents. I know that's very important because you're the stakeholders, so we need to address your needs. Okay, Mr. Smorl.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, I think it would be naive on our part to say that communication can't be improved. I mean, first of all, communication can always be improved. But I think it's important to understand a couple things in regard to your comments regarding the preschool and the referendum. We originally had to pull the preschool program together for this January. It was an enormously tight time frame. We were scrambling ourselves to meet that timeline. So extraordinarily difficult to try to communicate what we're going to do because we hadn't figured it all out ourselves. And I would answer the same way as it pertains to the referendum. We are still working through finalizing what the referendum should look like, working with outside resources. We were not in a position to come and talk to you about the specifics of the referendum right now because we're still going through it behind the scenes. As soon as we finalize that, the plan is to obviously communicate it to you. Same way with the preschool. As we get through it, as we can kind of finalize some of this stuff where we have effective talking points, we're going to communicate it. So I do recognize the fact that communication is something that we constantly have to improve on, but also want you to understand that specifically as it pertains to the preschool and to the referendum, we're still trying to put this stuff together ourselves to make sense of it. And in terms of the subs, I think this has been an ongoing issue for us for a while. We continue to try to work through it, but I think everyone throughout the county and the state is being challenged with the same issue. And it's just, my answer to you is we hear you loud and clear. We recognize it and understand it. We certainly, we have board members up here who have children in the school, and it's a challenge for everyone. We're not ignoring it. We're trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah, I was going to speak to that. On a personal level, there's many of us, we've already spoke to that, whose children have gone through the system, but we have children at those schools right now. So I heard what you said. It was beautifully said. Thank you for coming up and stating it. And just know that, you know, as board member, I want to see all of our students do well and all of our resources used in the best way possible. But also, we know what you're talking about because we have students that are in classrooms just like yours, lack of subs, not moving from class to class. And, you know, to Mr. Small's point, unfortunately, I do also work in a different district where we're facing similar problems. I'm not saying that because I think you should feel bad for Board of Educations, but the reality is we are going to have to get more creative and we are going to have to, you know, speak to you guys and really depend on the community to get those subs, to get those people who might be interested in coming in and subbing in our schools, because that's huge, huge.
Mr. Brady?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because I agree with Ms. Harrison that your statements were very well spoken and appreciated. I'll say this, I'll piggyback on what Mr. Smarl said about communication being better, but I will say there are times where we are taking that feedback, right? So there's been a lot of adjustments to the preschool alone just based on a lot of public outcry, right? Probably the timing was terrible, right? Should have, but up against the clock, making some decisions. We're trying to avoid that, and the good thing is that I think based on some preliminary things we've seen with regards to the referendum, a lot of the items that you just spoke about are going to be addressed in that. I know that doesn't solve the problem today, right? Listen, as Ms. Harrison just said, we all have fifth graders at Henley right now, right? So they won't ever be the recipient of a new playground at Henley, but it needs to be done. There's a lot of what you said needs to be done. So I want you to know that things are being heard and they are being talked about. Just because maybe they don't end up on Facebook or put out publicly, it doesn't mean that we're not addressing it or that we don't care, for certain.
And just one last point. Communication is only effective when there's action. That when we hear all these needs, we got to take action. And I just want you to know the board does care. And we have 3 or 4 of our board members with children in Henley. But it's action. It's action. I think now the communication, that shell has been cracked. We get that. We understand that. That was done in the month of March. So we understand, and whatever issues that we need to discuss, we discuss. And then we move to the action part that actually things are happening to make both schools better.
Bill Draghi, 47 Post Road, Clark, New Jersey. 5 of my children went to the schools in Clark, and I think the biggest change you could make to make the schools better is to get rid of a Democrat governor. He is so bad, Governor Murphy, keeping gender identity from the parents. He doesn't want any if there's any differences between the parents and the child of the parent and gender identity. He says the state must be the one that decides, not the parent. The state law, which says the teachers cannot interfere if a child wants to be a boy and is really a girl, or vice versa. He is so bad. President Trump said he's going to investigate the schools in California, Governor Newsom, because he did the same thing, keeping gender identity away from the parents. And it's not only that, he also has a law, Governor Murphy in Jersey, teaching abortion things to the students. You have to teach it. And he's responsible for abortion in this state. He could have vetoed the abortion bill when it came up a few years ago, and he didn't. So the best change anybody can make to make this, and also, he was also threatening to take away federal funds from any state that does not go along with Trump's no gender changing to the children. Trump doesn't want that to happen. If he finds it happening, he's going to take away federal funds. So if any federal funds are involved in this construction that you were just talking about, he'll be taking that away. He said he would do that. So the best thing to do is to get the NJEA funds away from the Democrats, because they are so bad. Governor Murphy is responsible for killing thousands of people in the nursing stations, just as Governor Cuomo did, and just as Governor Newsom did. And this is coming from the top someplace. Will the really Democrat states
Your time is up.
are responsible for that?
Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you.
Good evening again. Michael Schulman, 382 Carolina Street. Not to parrot Ms. Crawford and Mr. Zarrow, but I think the two issues they've spoken about are incredibly important. And those concerns were raised last month. They were raised at the PTA meeting that the superintendent and Mr. Lewis attended, but the agenda tonight was absent of any discussion of those things. The issue specifically of modules, those were approved from my review of the prior agendas some time ago. They've been approved, 4 of them. So your children who were 5th graders, they could have been installed already. But now we're approaching another school year, close to the end, frankly it seems. The modules are needed. Put it on the agenda, vote on it, so they can be constructed and installed for September. We don't need to have more discussion on that. It's self-evident at this point. And it's not just one. One's going to need 2. 4 are approved, and Mr. Lewis, I think, can confirm, based on the comments of the last month, those are very needed. As it goes to communications.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, Mr. Schulman, can we just answer that first?
Sure.
Because there was a reason why
Those
we couldn't.
those modules were originally approved because we were planning to have the preschool program there, and they were going to be funded through the preschool grants. Once we made the decision to move that preschool to the high school, they were no longer being considered because they were part of the preschool solution, just so you understand.
Sure.
That was they were not a separate item for Henley, for the existing Henley students that were there. They were specifically being done because of the preschool program.
Right, and the couldn't do modules for the pre-K and the kindergarten is what the issue was. I'm aware.
You're correct. You can't put, we learned that, first of all, you couldn't, it wasn't necessarily going to be a showstopper. We couldn't put preschool children in the modules. You had to move one of the kindergarten.
Right, the super little kids in the
grade.
modules.
Correct.
Understood.
And then we opted to move to a different solution.
Yes.
This is why, as I said earlier, we were still trying to process and put all this together to figure out what the right solution was going to be before we went forward and communicated it.
I think collectively the town understands that you had to jump at the opportunity for the program, the difficulty and the forethought. We simply don't have the building space, right? That's the underlying problem is we lost our old school at Brewer to municipal offices, and when we built this building, didn't build it big enough to make sure we had Brewer again for the inevitability of needing more room. Nevertheless, the issue of communication, I think, is also important because, again, scrolling through, I don't know, probably the last 4 or 5 years of agendas, back this past summer, there was a item passed for, I think it was about $90,000 to a communications firm to promote the bond initiative. Obviously, I don't think anyone's seen it yet. It sounds like it's still being worked on, but I would imagine that when we talk about communication, we just put an outlay of about 2 teacher salaries into communication. I think it's important that we understand that these folks are passionate, they're also smart. And we're going to look and see, well, they've allocated $90,000 to a firm to sell the public on a bond initiative. And now I'm hearing today, well, it's not quite ready. We frankly know it needs to be ready in advance of the election because it has to get onto the ballot, and there's printing issues. Can the board at least report when the language and the items it intends to put into the money it intends to want to allocate for the bond, when will it be done?
I don't think we spent the $90,000 on that. Mr. Grande, could you please address that?
I'll sit down.
So we initially had a proposal from Laura Bishop and Associates, who's basically, she's the guru throughout the state for bond referendum PR. And her initial proposal was perhaps $90,000. I have to go back in the agendas and look. The board, myself, Mr. Vizzuzo, had a discussion, and we pared that back because we wanted to be conservative with our monies. And I want to say the figure where it came in at was around $40,000. We're currently working with Laura Bishop and her team as we speak. She was just in district last Tuesday to do a site visit to get ready for the video that's going to begin getting filmed on April 30th. Myself, Mr. Vizzuzo, the board, we've been actually asking Ms. Bishop, because we're hungry to communicate some of the details to the public, and she is strongly advising us to not do so yet, because we don't want to send misleading messages. Right now, we're just getting data back from the state in terms of what's going to be funded and what's not. So to put something out half-baked, believe me, myself, the board, we understand your hunger to be communicated with and to be given information. But we also want to be prudent and not put out half-baked plans and say we're going to do project X, Y, and Z, and then that morphs into project A, B, and C. And then people lose trust because they feel as if we're misleading them. The same thing was true with the preschool plan. Like Mr. Sporl mentioned, we were under a very tight timeline. We got the grant in October. We got the additional state aid in October. We had to open for January. And then, before you knew it, we were taking registrations and so forth for the coming school year. We didn't want our parents we wanted to try to minimize the effect of parents having to put down deposits. So we expedited the registration process. As soon as we had a concrete plan, and that plan was to put the classrooms at ALJ, yes, we were strongly toying with mobile units at the Henley School. We're not running from that, but due to a number of factors, we came to the ultimate decision that the plan at ALJ was a stronger plan. And as soon as we had a special board meeting to discuss that, to finalize that, and that board meeting was on Wednesday, the public was communicated with on Friday that the plan was for ALJ. So again, I'm taking the feedback also, it's not just rhetoric, we truly can always do a better job, myself, in communicating. But please know, sometimes even with the optimal communication level, there's going to be times when we can't share everything as quickly as we would like to. And it's a small town, rumors get out there and so forth, but as soon as we have a definite plan, we do try to communicate it. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, thank you. Any other comments from the public? Okay, this was a very good dialogue, very good information, and I think there will be results coming from this board meeting. Anyway, okay. Can I have a motion for adjournment? Ms. Guerrera, Mr. Breedy, all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.